Michael Jackson. Behind his public image, Jackson quietly paid multiple accusers seven-figure settlements, avoiding courtroom scrutiny and a criminal trial entirely. Albert Einstein. Before his famous marriage, Einstein fathered a daughter named Lisa, whose ultimate fate remains a mystery to historians today. Elvis Presley. Beneath the rock icon image, Elvis secretly met Nixon, volunteering himself as an informant for federal anti-drug efforts. Naomi Osaka. Behind her calm court presence, Osaka privately battled depression for years before publicly withdrawing from the French Open. Kanye West. Long before public scrutiny, Kanye's family reportedly kept his bipolar diagnosis hidden during his early rise to fame. Prince William. Behind royal composure, William has rarely detailed how his mother's death privately shaped major decisions in his adult life. Chrissy Teigen. Behind her public persona, Teigen quietly processed a devastating pregnancy loss before choosing to share it publicly. Serena Williams. Behind her championship image, Williams says doctors initially dismissed her serious post-birth medical emergency before finally taking action. Simone Biles. Behind Olympic poise, Biles hid the disorienting twisties and mental toll until withdrawing live from competition. Bruce Willis. Before the public diagnosis, Willis's family privately noticed early signs of his language disorder years beforehand. Christina Applegate. Behind her television work, Applegate quietly lived with undiagnosed MS symptoms before finally revealing her condition publicly. Anne Hathaway. Behind her polished image, Hathaway has stayed notably private about a past engagement entangled in legal controversy. Marilyn Monroe. Before Hollywood stardom, Monroe was briefly married as a teenager, a fact studios deliberately hid for years. Freddie Mercury. Behind his stage presence, Mercury privately battled HIV for years, confirming it publicly only one day before dying. Prince Harry. Behind royal expectations, Harry secretly struggled with drug use and mental health, later revealing it despite family objections. Taylor Swift. Behind closed doors, Swift secretly recorded an entire album, Folklore, hiding it from her own record label. Dolly Parton. Behind her public warmth, Parton has kept her marriage almost entirely hidden from view for over 50 years. Walt Disney. Behind the family-friendly brand, Disney secretly worked as a paid FBI informant during Hollywood's communist scare era. Lady Gaga. Behind her stage energy, Gaga privately endured chronic fibromyalgia pain for years before finally confirming it publicly. Selena Gomez. Behind her music career, Gomez secretly underwent a kidney transplant from lupus complications before revealing it afterward. Michael J. Fox. Behind his sitcom smile, Fox secretly hid his Parkinson's diagnosis from the public for a full 7 years. Charlize Theron. Behind her acting success, Theron rarely discusses the traumatic circumstances of her father's death, which she witnessed firsthand. Demi Moore. Behind her Hollywood career, Moore privately carried the memory of a childhood suicide attempt for decades before disclosing it. Elton John. Behind his flamboyant stage persona, John secretly struggled with bulimia and addiction for years before writing about it. Britney Spears. Behind pop stardom, Spears lived under a restrictive conservatorship for 13 years before the public fully understood its terms. Angelina Jolie. Behind her public image, Jolie quietly underwent a preventative double mastectomy, revealing it only afterward through an op-ed. Tom Hanks. Behind his everyman image, Hanks privately managed an undiagnosed pre-diabetic condition for years before disclosing it publicly. Heath Ledger. Behind his intense performance, friends later revealed how deeply the Joker role disrupted Ledger's sleep and health. Amy Winehouse. Behind her powerful voice, Winehouse's family privately shielded the public from the true severity of her illness. Chester Bennington. Behind his intense lyrics, Bennington secretly carried childhood abuse trauma, only disclosing it in later interviews before dying. Bing Crosby. Behind his wholesome image, Crosby was privately harsh toward his children. Sammy Davis Jr. Behind his stage career, Davis secretly converted religions and pursued interracial relations, guarding both due to death threats.
Alan Turing. Behind his quiet demeanor, Turing's groundbreaking code-breaking work stayed classified by the government for decades after he died. Coco Chanel. Chanel secretly maintained a documented relationship with a Nazi intelligence officer during World War II, Vincent van Gogh. Historians still secretly dispute whether Van Gogh's death was suicide or an accidental shooting. Betty Page. Page vanished from public life for decades, quietly hiding a long struggle with mental illness. Agatha Christie. Behind her mystery-writing fame, Christie herself became one, vanishing for 11 days in 1926 without ever explaining why. Charlie Chaplin. Behind his comedic genius, Chaplin was secretly investigated and later barred from America over paternity and political suspicion. Katharine Hepburn. Hepburn secretly carried on a decades-long affair with married actor Spencer Tracy. Steve Jobs. Behind his innovative empire, Jobs secretly delayed cancer treatment for 9 months. Whitney Houston. Behind her powerhouse voice, Houston privately struggled with addiction for years before it became public knowledge. Judy Garland. Behind her wholesome image, teenage Garland was secretly given amphetamines and barbiturates by MGM to control her weight. Rock Hudson. Behind his leading man image, Hudson secretly hid his homosexuality his entire career. Stephen King. Behind his prolific writing, King has admitted he doesn't actually remember writing Cujo due to addiction at the time. David Bowie. Behind his final album, Bowie secretly battled terminal cancer, releasing Black Star as a deliberate, hidden farewell to fans. John F. Kennedy. Kennedy secretly hid Addison's disease and constant chronic pain throughout his presidency. Marlon Brando. Brando privately concealed the true extent of his estrangement from his complicated family relationships. J.D. Salinger. Behind his reclusive silence, Salinger reportedly kept writing extensively in private, refusing to publish any of the new work.
Grace Kelly. Kelly's Hollywood past was quietly scrubbed from Monaco's official public narrative after she became princess. Nikola Tesla. Behind his inventions, Tesla died believing certain technologies existed that were only revealed decades later in declassified files. Marlene Dietrich. Dietrich secretly worked with U.S. intelligence during WW2 in ways unpublicized for decades. Prince secretly kept a vault containing thousands of unreleased songs discovered only after his death. Kurt Cobain. Cobain's private journals, published after death, revealed struggles he had deliberately hidden from fans. Farrah Fawcett. Behind her glamorous image, Fawcett privately filmed her cancer battle, choosing to release the footage only near life's end. Robin Williams. Behind his comedic energy, Williams was privately diagnosed with Lewy body dementia, misdiagnosed as Parkinson's until his autopsy. Elizabeth Taylor. Behind her many marriages, Taylor secretly had an earlier engagement that studios hid entirely to protect her public image. Audrey Hepburn. Behind her elegant screen image, young Hepburn secretly worked for the Dutch resistance, rarely discussing it publicly later on. Cary Grant. Behind his suave image, Grant secretly used LSD in the 1950s as part of then-legal psychiatric therapy sessions.
Doris Day. Behind her sunny image, Day privately hid a financially devastating scandal caused by her husband's mismanagement of her fortune. Ingrid Bergman. Behind her acclaimed career, Bergman secretly had a child out of wedlock, an act that got her denounced in the Senate. Marvin Gaye. Gaye privately endured a violent family conflict that would eventually and tragically lead to his death. Anthony Bourdain. Behind his culinary fame, Bourdain candidly revealed past heroin use only once he had already achieved widespread success. Chris Farley. Behind his comedic energy, Farley secretly hid the true severity of his addiction from castmates until shortly before dying.
Stories like this one deserve to be remembered. That's the whole reason this channel exists. If you want more of this kind of history, hit subscribe right now. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments.